want to welcome you to another edition of the Invest Podcast. I'm your host, John Ross. Remember to follow me on Instagram at All Things Invest with 3 T's. I have some special guests here with me. I have the Daniels family. I have my man, Kendrick. I have Charil. I have Kira. I have Lorenzo. I have Kiana. And I have, Kylie? Kyle yes. On the Invest Podcast. I know Dad for a number of years from the gym scene. The man is a dope trainer, really, really skilled. I've seen him for many, many years. He also has a awesome personality. It's easy to talk to. Hadn't seen him for a while. I ran into the man a few months ago over at a local gym that we both frequent, just kind of catching up. COVID's had everybody pretty much like separated for a very long time. And I think we're kind of finally turning the corner, but I'd asked him just how things are going, how's everything been? And he had told me that they had recently gotten involved with a little bit of light acting, some commercials and some things like that. And just said that he's just enjoying the process and just seeing where everything takes him and the family. What I found unique about it is everybody seems to kind of be going through this journey together. It's not just one of them, it's all together. So it's like a family affair. So I thought to myself, it'd be pretty dope to get them on the podcast if we could. I know they were super busy. I reached out to my man Kendrick and he said, let's do it. So that's awesome. So how was life? I know COVID has had everybody really, really crazy. And I know your wife, she works for a school district. Am I right?
I do. Yes.
Is that Elk Grove or Sacramento?
Yes. Elk Grove.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So it's just like the kids, had been out of school for, all that time. I got a teenager, I got a daughter, and the kids finally being able to go back. So I know that the other day there's finally got authorization to offer the COVID shot for the young ones now. What do you think about that?
I think that everybody has the right to do what's best for their kids. I've been kind of out of the loop, to be honest, because during COVID we got pregnant and we had a baby. And I have enjoyed and am soaking in all the bonding leave right now. So I actually have been on sites since everybody's been back. So I know that the intention of the district is to definitely the safety first.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it is when I finally go back to work.
Yeah.
So
it's been quite interesting with everything's going on. We actually, in all this transition and everything that's going on, we thought it would be less of anxiety on the kids to do homeschooling. So we actually have all the kids homeschooling. Because of the industry and what we do, wifey and I had to get vaccinated. Our doctors and everything are, because they want to make sure everybody's safe now that everything is for the kids. They would like the kids to get vaccinated. So we're kind of navigate this thing and make sure that we make the best decision for us. We're not pro this or pro that. We are focused on
pro family.
Our family.
Right. I like that.
What's in line with our goals. So, and the safety of everybody. So, and that's always evolving, always changing.
Right.
I definitely love that. Like for me, I like that thing, how you guys said family first. You guys everyone has to pretty much do what's best for them. Like I'll hear some people and they're pro-vax and they're like, why are you not, and then there's some people, they're anti-vax and I'm vaccinated, so I did that, and but I feel like it's kind of like you're right to kind of do that. So you guys do definitely what's best for your family. So I want to ask you guys, like Kendrick, like getting involved with you guys doing the kids doing like some acting, some commercials, and things like that. Like, how did that thing kind of get started? I know you've always been like the fitness guy, always been like the trainer guys doing that. So how's this kind of been now? How was that?
So that's a great question, man. So it started out, we had a friend of ours that had her kids deep into, they were doing acting and modeling and a lot in the Bay Area. And it was, and her husband and she got involved. They all got involved in it. And she told us that our kids had a great look. They had a great look because they're what's called ethnically ambiguous. I had never heard that term prior to being involved here. But basically, you look at our babies and you can't tell what race they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that is highly marketable, especially in the Bay Area, when they are doing print ads and commercials and things like that. So it started out with, it was the kids. So, you know, we went to see an agent out there. They signed the kids and it was going to be a kids day. And then next thing you know, they asked the parents to come on board. So they'd ask us to come and audition for shoots. And we started booking as a family. You know what I'm saying? And we would get on sets. And I told my wife, I was like, this is a lot of fun. A, because you get to go out and meet new people and see new environments and go see all these places. And B, we get to do it as a family.
Together.
So, you know, we decided, you know, the thing I love about my wife is she's a great teammate.
That's
you know
huge.
What I'm saying? Marriage is not easy to navigate. And she really makes an effort to make sure that we stay on the same page and we communicate. So we decided that if we're going to do this, let's get better at it. Let's build our skill sets. And I love how your podcast is investing in you, because we decided let's invest in the family and let's start taking classes and let's start putting ourselves in environments where we grow these skills so we become more marketable.
Okay.
And once we start taking classes and we got around and learning acting and learning the craft of acting, absolutely fell in love with it.
Wow.
And so now we're at the point, and every person in this family has a different journey. And we always see where they're at and how they're feeling about it. But right now, the way it's rolling right now is we're loving it, we're having fun, and we want to get better.
So there's six of you counting the baby, right?
Yes.
Okay, how old?
How recently signed too.
Oh wow!
At 4 months.
Wow. Okay.
I think COVID was almost like a little blessing, because it allowed us to kind of gather that space on, okay, what do we want to do? Because we just didn't want to just sit in the house. We wanted to, okay, if this is something that we want for our future, let's go ahead and find avenues in order to grow those skills. So that's when, we did reach out. The kids were taking acting classes, Kendrick was taking acting classes.
We were learning self-tapes and Zoom auditions. It
was via Zoom.
Yeah,
so
everything was
we
remotely.
were home. Yeah, we were home, but at the same time, we continued with growing those skills, as opposed to just kind of
sitting waiting. Right.
Yeah. One thing I would say about the COVID is COVID did give many of us things to kind of time to kind of sit around, and some of us took advantage of COVID and worked on different things, worked on different skill sets, learned different things. I myself did that as well. I tell people that this definitely was something that was rough on us. COVID was looked at as a negative, but I believe with some people, there's some positive that came out of it. So I know the age of the baby, 4 months old. How old are the other ones? I know there's 3 other ones.
9, 11, and 13.
9, 11, and 13. So wow, you have a teenager in there. So I want to ask you guys. So I know I had talked to Dad about, and he kind of explained it to me a few months ago, is your kids are different. Your kids are a little bit unique in a good way. But I know you had said something to your daughter, Kendrick, I'm trying to remember our exact conversation, but I know it was something about, some people are going to love you for being different. And you said something like to the right of, some people are going to kind of be a little bit funny about that. I know we had a conversation, something about that. You were telling your daughter something of that nature. Can we get into that real quick?
Yeah. So I tell my kids constantly, you're unique. We live in a day and age right now where you go out and people are acting a certain way or carrying themselves a certain way. And you are going to stand out. So specifically for my daughter, she is, and all my kids have different personalities, and I love it. And I do my best, and my wife really does her best to nurture their uniqueness. But then also to make sure we're all grounded in the same principles.
Right.
So my oldest daughter is a little bit she's a little quirky.
She's quirky.
That's Daddy's fault. You know what I'm saying? She got a little bit of that goofiness.
Got it from Pops, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
When she comes out of her shell and she's in an environment where she feels like she's comfortable, she's a free bird. You know what I'm saying?
My daughter's the same way. Yeah.
Yes. So she gets into new environments, and she's a teenager now, and she'll get into classes with other teenagers, and she is concerned. She is concerned about, what they'll think about her and her personality, if they won't like her. So it kind of causes her to clam up and just kind of be quiet and just sit and watch everybody else, which there's nothing wrong with observing your environment, being aware of where you're at and understanding your surroundings. But I told her, I said, listen, baby, I said, you are unique. You're not like everybody else. We are all made differently, and we all have our unique signatures to us. So, and I said, there are people who are going to love you for your uniqueness, your quirkiness, and you think you're funny and awesome. And there are people who are going to be annoyed by you and put off by you. I wouldn't be worried about that. Just make sure you always are on those ground principles. And what we teach our kids is we teach people, we treat people like human beings. We listen before we speak. And we are non-judgmental. But we know that things that we're going to do and we're not going to do. And so you make sure you stay in that lane, but allow yourself, be yourself. And the people who are supposed to be around you will be drawn to you. So that's when, especially the oldest, because the oldest is a little bit more self-conscious.
Okay.
The other ones are like, hey, I'm me, take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
One thing
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. I want to hear.
I do think that I was telling my husband, I've been in education for a long, long time, over 20 years. And, she's at that age. She's at that age that she's her self-discovery. She's learning her own. And so as parents, we need to listen. We need to listen. We need to listen deeper than what the surface is, and also to just encourage and build wherever their skill sets are. So like one thing, she loves to edit videos. So we want to grow that. We want to grow that so then her confidence grows from that. So then when she is put in situations where she's self-conscious, just about herself and what others think, that kind of balances it, that she grows in confidence in the areas that she's good at. And then eventually, that will spread across everywhere else. It's that age. She's 13. She's middle school. That's insecurity. And so as parents, we have to just, be the ones to lift. So then when they're up in that situation, that it's not so tough on them. So yeah.
I'm glad we touched on that, because I have a 14-year-old. So I went through the time when he was like 10, 11, and then the time when he got like 12 and 13. And then they kind of went through this awkward phase. Like you said, just that self-discovery of trying to, figure out kind of like how they are. And me being a father, and I haven't done this before, having a teenager yet, trying to like figure it out, like, what are the best words to say? Like, what do you say in this situation? Because like I said, it's a really, really weird time, because, the kids, they want to fit in, and it's a time when they're a little self-conscious of themselves. So I tell my son, like, be you, be yourself. People are either going to love you for it or they're not. Like, no matter what you do, no matter how great you are, not everybody's going to love you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's just the way it is. Everyone's not going to like you. Just, do the best you can to be the best version of yourself. So I want to ask you guys, what was one of the first like photo shoots you guys actually did? Was it one of the kids with you guys together? What was one of the first ones you guys did? And like, how was that just the first time? I know, like, just the more you do something, the more you get used to it. But I'm sure maybe the first time might have been a little bit of an awe experience. Am I right or wrong?
Well, so the first time when our first kid that was booked was our son Lorenzo, and he was 5.
4 years ago.
He was.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And it was for a magazine, and it was kind of like it was our introduction to see, okay, well, will our kids even like it?
Yeah.
And that was the big thing. Like we totally believe, like, if the kids don't like it, if they're starting to feel like it's not them anymore, then we won't push it. So our son was 5. We got on set, and he just observed, and then all of a sudden, when he got direction, he just followed it. Yeah. He followed it, and it was funny because it was 5 5-year-olds. And so, each of the 5-year-olds had different demeanors. And so, but Lorenzo just took the direction. And when he was supposed to just pose there and just stay there, he would just stay there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, this
Love
is
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I remember telling Kendrick as I was calling him, I was like, babe, our son, he flourished. He flourished in there.
Yeah.
And so
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. The kids, as we got on sets in the beginning, they were very organic with it. I mean, it really surprised us. They were not shy. They weren't scared. They had a great time. And so we're like, man, we got something here. I remember the first thing we all booked together as a family, we got to go see this beautiful house in San Rafael, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
in
nice.
San Rafael, it was this beautiful house, and we got to meet cool people. And then the second day of the shoot, we were on like this Napa Valley in a canoe in the hills, or whatever,
Wine
private
country
property. And it was just, I mean, and again, we had people telling us, listen, you guys work really well together, and you guys are very, what is it? Natural is not the word I want to use. That's like taboo, but very organic.
Yeah,
It's very believable.
Very real.
Yes, it's you know what I'm saying. And there was an actor who was a grandpa and grandfather that was on stage, and we was just joking with them like they was family. You know what I'm saying? Cracking jokes and sliding little sidebars here and there, and the kids were coming at them. And
we had our daughter go to the producer, and she has her arm on him.
Wow, two naturals.
Our kids are, and I think that's our fault, the way they're so social like that, because my wife and I have always been involved in things when we've been around a ton of people.
Right.
Through fitness, through her school, through whatever it is we do, we just naturally, through church, we just naturally just love being around people. And so we always brought our kids around in that environment. So now that they get into this arena, when they get around new people, they're very conversational, and they know how to navigate when meeting new people.
That's a skill set that's very, very useful for them, because actually what kind of holds a lot of people back from reaching goals and really achieving things sometimes is just being really, really reserved. Like people will sometimes want to like step out of that box and kind of be that, but their fears, they just kind of hold them back. So that's awesome that your kids have that. And I believe the kids are going to really flourish in this, and it's going to really help them to really flourish in life. So you guys seem like you guys got a good grip on things. You guys seem like really, really awesome parents. You guys did something also for Old Navy. I seen something online as well. I think it was something for like, the daughter do something for Sutter Health as well?
Yes, she did. Yeah,
nice.
She's on Sutter Health commercial. Old Navy, Golden One pops up quite frequently now.
Norton Security.
The Norton Security.
Clorox.
Yeah, Clorox is one that just popped up. Her and my wife and my son. So yeah, it's just and the two of them just did one for two of my kids just did one for an infomercial for Valley Water. So yeah, so I mean,
wow.
Yeah,
nice,
it's been a blessing for sure.
I guess we'll just see where this journey takes you guys. It seems like it's been an awesome journey these last couple of years. Am I right?
I mean, you just getting started, man.
I know. I've seen you. I feel it, man.
Things coming, man.
So I'll be real with you, man. When I spoke to you, I went home and I was excited for you, and I told my wife about it. I said, hey, I seen my man at the gym. I hadn't seen him in a while. Just shooting the crap, but hey, man, how's life? How you been doing? And he had told me that him and the kids and the family were getting involved in like acting commercials. And I said, what I liked about it is they were doing it all together. It wasn't like this. He was doing, my wife was, I was like, yeah. I was like, really, really, really cool. I'm like, it's dope. So how do you guys balance it all? Like busy. I mean, you got to afford. I mean, I haven't had my daughter's old. My daughter's 9. That's my youngest. Like with all this stuff going on, the kids, all this, how do you guys balance all this stuff? How do you stay grounded? So, give me the secret sauce.
Okay, so I'm gonna chime in, and I'm gonna let her continue, because I'm gonna be 100% authentic, real, and I hope this encourages somebody like that.
Keep it true. Keep it true.
100% true.
All right.
I'm not that good at the balancing part right now. Not just yet. I've been getting in trouble for date nights, trying to focus. I should be focusing on doing the homeschool with the kids, but I'm reading scripts, trying to do personal development. I'm training with scene partners. I'm training clients where I'm supposed to be focusing on a homeschool. Wifey's like, what? And I'm being 100% honest right now. Wifey's like, I go back to working too much? What are you gonna do when it's you, the baby, and the kids? You supposed to be handling it all. And I'm like, don't worry about it. It's gonna be all good, man. Don't even trip. So I'm gonna let her chime in. So when it comes to the balance part, I'm gonna say right now, I still got a lot of lessons to learn. But this is one thing I will say, is that I married an amazing woman.
Awesome.
And
Trying to get out the doghouse.
I stay in the doghouse. Okay.
Hey, I'll be there too.
Right. I stay in there. It's not even about that. But the thing is, I married an amazing woman. She does not give up on me. She sees more in me than I see in myself. And she believes in me, and she believes that I can get it together. And so she's constantly, like, really frustratingly sometimes, really trying to work with me to make sure we are in line with priorities. Now, that's one thing. If anything, I can say, I'm gonna let her chime in, because she's probably going to dig on this. You got to make sure you are clear with your priorities, and things have to be lined up based on your priorities, because when priorities get out of whack, the energy in the house is not cool. And when the energy in the house is not cool and my wife is not happy, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing, is I'm really trying to get better at making sure I operate throughout the day based on priorities. So then that way things don't get out of whack. Now I'm gonna slide. I'm gonna let the guru talk, because she probably got better advice than I do.
Yeah, Cheryl gotta say. What Cheryl gotta say?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, don't start for me.
You might be all right today, brother.
All right, here we go, man.
That definitely was what I was going to talk about, was priorities. Is the fact that, our faith in God is first. We are next, then our kids, and when that starts, then work, and then when that starts to get out of whack, that's when the house gets out of whack. And the biggest thing too is because I can't say that it's not balanced at all. We going through priorities is how we balance things.
Right.
And but the biggest thing is communication.
Right.
Is being free and expressing how we're feeling, and being okay with how our partner is going to receive it, because sometimes our partner ain't going to receive it cool. Sometimes our kids aren't. So the fact is that we communicate with each other, and then we go from there on how we're going to be able to navigate whatever is coming next.
Right.
And creating that time and space for each other, because you know what, the vision is that this takes us far, and when it gets there, we got to be good when it gets there. Right. And so investing time with each other, investing time with our kids. He goes out, recently went on dates with our daughters, separate dates with them. I went on a date with my son, and just taking that time to just check off those priorities, because that's how we're gonna balance stuff. Balances. I wish there was a different word.
It's called counterbalance.
It's
this gets out of whack. Throw a little bit more of this in here.
It's called trying to figure it out.
One thing I can say is it's a saying that a lot of people use, but they say, really like teamwork, because me and my wife and my kids were a team. They say teamwork, it makes the dream work. Yeah. And I don't know what it is about just talking to you guys gives me like, okay, yeah, that's kind of how my relationship is my wife, she's kind of the one that kind of like balances my priorities. I can't say I do bad with it, but I can't say I do great with it, because sometimes myself, I'm working on something. The wife was like, but you're supposed to be working on that. So I think it's something about the woman in the family that kind of help to keep us grounded, kind of help to give us that balance. It's kind of good that you guys kind of touched on that, because you guys are a super busy family. And for you guys touching on, how you guys try to keep it balanced is just prioritizing everything, making sure everything kind of lines up. I think sometimes in people's households, families, and relationships, that kind of jacks up some stuff, just not having things prioritized the right way. Not a marriage counselor. That's just something that I sort of noticed. So basically, outside of acting and all that stuff, the kids, they stay busy with other stuff. I know they said they're involved with the church. Are they doing any sports or anything as well, or just?
Yeah. So the kids, they have acting classes, private acting classes, piano. Jesus. Our daughter's in the dance group.
Awesome.
And I think that is the scope of it right now. I know our son wants to get involved in sports, But he's like, because even he said it, he was like, I want to do soccer, but you know, I understand right now things are kind of a little bit crazy. So, but we'd love to get him in something too.
Honestly, he's the one that's busiest right now with work.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. He got called. He's got 2 shoots next week, and then he's on hold for another shoot for the founding week. So, yeah. I mean, you know, he's busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. We got it. We got the Daniels family, got Kendrick, we got Charil, life, acting, marriage, family, kids, finding a way to balance it all. I'm gonna let you guys run. It's been a pleasure. I want to thank you guys again for coming on to the podcast. I'm really looking forward to see where this journey continues to take your family. I believe sky's the limit. I've seen this stuff. I just believe that in life, some things are meant to be, and I believe this stuff is going to be meant to be for the family. But what I like about it, it seems like the head's on straight. You guys are grounded. You're not letting this go to your guys' head, and you're keeping the family grounded. So I love that. You guys keep going that and keep chasing the dream.
Thank you.
We will, brother. We will, man.
All
we
right.
appreciate
You guys enjoy rest of your evening. Talk to you guys soon.
All right, boss. Take care, man.
Awesome.